and welcome to Framed
Canvas, cuffs,
and Other Stuffs. This podcast is about crime. About crime.
wake up.
We've got art. Woo!
Bonjour.
Ooh. It would be great if I had a French story for us, but I unfortunately don't.
No.
So,
I just felt like saying it.
welcome to Framed.
Canvas? Oh, shit. No, hold on. Rewind.
Welcome back to another episode of Framed.
Canvas
Cuffs.
and other stuff.
Ooh. Let's start off with your... Oh, no. Shall I start with my recommendation of the week?
So I can think properly about mine.
So this week I am recommending, it's an old Netflix documentary. It's called Homicide New York. Dun, 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 dun. It is actually the true story of that Law and Order is based off. So it's all those kind of cops and detectives that were working, and old Dick Wolf is the producer, who produced all of the Law and Orders, making all the money. And so it's the true cops, and a lot of the stories that they talk about were actually made into episodes of Law and Order, and it is fascinating.
Well, that's what I kind of always think of because I'm like, Law and Order's been going on for so long. How do they keep coming up with storylines? Hello, crime happens all the time in New York, so they've got stuff to go off.
City that doesn't sleep.
Yes.
There's
she
crime.
never sleeps.
She is always up and about.
I know there was one episode where Justin Bieber was the bad person
really?
in it. It might have been Law and Order. It might have been CSI. It was one of them. NCIS. I don't know. But Justin Bieber ended up being the baddie. I think he got shot at the end.
No.
Whoopi Goldberg was also in a really good episode as well. She plays a good villain.
I feel like Whoopi's, she can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend. It's really interesting. There's some it's weird to say, but there's some really likable detectives and cops on the show. And there is also I think she's the main coroner. She's pretty much been the coroner in New York City since like 1985 or something.
She's seen some shit.
She's seen some shit, and this is her moment. She's really telling a story.
Does she have like a no fucks given attitude?
Yeah, and she's really just spilling all the tea, and she's really got opinions about everything. She's gone, I'm gonna get some work out of this. I'm gonna start my second career.
What's it called again?
It's called Homicide New York.
Fantastic.
What about you, Joel? What are you?
Well, while you were saying that, I was thinking of, because I came unprepared, I actually watched a really good Netflix crime documentary.
What are you recommending, Joel?
So while you were talking about that, it started to make me think of a Netflix documentary that I saw this week called What Jennifer Did.
What did she do?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Because it gives away the whole thing. Yeah, really fascinating crime that happened to a family in Canada, in this sleepy Canada town that nothing really bad. Their crime rate is super low, and this big kind of like break-in murder situation happens.
Oh.
And it's all based around the young girl of the household, Jennifer. Without diving too far into it, we find out what Jennifer did, and boy, oh boy.
Did she do some things?
She did things. She did some things. Jennifer did stuff.
Oh.
Highly recommend. It was an easy hour and 20-minute watch.
Oh, so it's not like 7 episodes where
No,
you're like,
it was just bang, 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 kept me entertained, and happened long ago enough for it not to be too triggering.
yeah, not too.
I'm like, okay, this has happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Everything's been it's simmered down a bit.
It's
not too current, not too real.
Okay.
It was a good watch.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, both crime recommendations.
Yeah, we love crime.
Funnily enough.
And art.
Crime and art. Talk about some crime. This week, Joel, we are not in Europe for once.
Oh my God.
I
was loving it there.
I know, but it's time to go to Cairo, Egypt.
Ooh.
I know. I've never been to Egypt, but I really want to go.
Same.
I feel like I've got to do a tour or something.
Mm.
Can't just be going there willy-nilly.
Is there anything left there, or did the British Museum just take everything?
I think that they've taken most of it. They might have one pyramid left for you to go and see.
Oh, good. Good.
Good.
See it.
We are going to the... Oh, I'm going to butcher it. We're going to the Mohammed
Delicious.
Cahill Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about a not-so-famous painting called Poppy Flowers
Okay.
by a very famous artist, Vincent van Gogh.
Ooh, Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. So what do you know about old Vincent van Gogh, Joel?
I know that he cut off his ear and sent it to his lover
Mm-hmm.
in a little box.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he did Starry Night, the famous swirly night sky painting, which is very pretty. And a lot of his art is that kind of like thick lines all bunched together, creating swirling movement motions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I know about Gogh.
Well, you're pretty bang on, to
Yay.
be fair. So let's talk about Vincent and then we'll talk about the crime.
Okay.
So Vincent van Gogh was a Dutch post-impressionist painter.
Okay.
He was born in 1853 in the Netherlands to a middle-class family. His dad was actually a priest.
Okay.
He's
Well-respected job in those times.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
everyone really was believing.
Yeah.
They were believers. So he actually started his career trying to be an art dealer and then ultimately dedicated himself to painting in his late 20s. Now, I'm not giving in
Late 20s.
late 20s. So
later in life.
Actually, yeah, he only,
For some.
well, he only lived till 37. So,
okay.
and he only really painted in the last 10 years of his life.
Wow.
And most of the paintings that we know today happened in the last 2 years of his life.
Well, there you go.
So he produced over 2,000 artworks, which included 800 oil paintings and 700 drawings.
God, he got busy. He got busy quick.
He really got busy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've mentioned he has distinct style. It's characterized by bold colors, dramatic brushwork, and emotional intensity. However, a lot of his early work was quite subdued. It's not as bright and vibrant as his later years.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a definite shift between what he was doing at the start of his career. I mean, we say career 10 years, and then the later years, it's all vibrant colors, the sunflowers, the starry nights, those
It's
type
quite
of
common
ones.
with a lot of artists. They'll have this mid-career shift.
Yeah.
And usually the latter seems to be the most well-known.
Yes. And I think because a lot of the time, especially at this time, these artists were all close to each other. So famous artists knew famous artists, which would be happening now. But I think at that time, because there's no social media, it was a bit different. So a lot of the time you'll be like, oh, this artist came up with this movement, this artist, and it's like, no, they just were kind of copying each other.
Yeah, right.
They were really just maybe not copying, getting inspiration from each other. And you'd be like, oh, okay, you can, when you start to lay out people's works, you next to each other, you can actually start to see, oh, okay, these people were all in the same place at the same time. They're creating the same type of art.
Yes.
So it's
same with music and and film and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There seems to be a trend at the time that people latch onto, whether they're aware of that they're doing it or not.
Exactly. It's kind of we think back to when we were coming out of high school. There was a definite indie kind of feel,
Indie sleaze.
baby. British pop. It was this kind of moment that everyone was doing the same kind of thing, but that kind of music now would not be seen as relevant. It's relevant, but it's not popular music.
I still pop on the Wombats every now and again.
I mean,
if you love me, let me go back to the boring Tokyo.
yes, that's it. Thank God, the Wombats of his time.
Yes, that's what people say.
So obviously during his life, he experiences numerous personal and professional challenges. Very famously, pretty much didn't sell a single painting in his life. And yeah, he was penniless his whole life. The only thing that kept him going, interestingly, is he had a really close relationship with his brother, whose name, I believe, if I remember correctly, is Theo, maybe?
Theo Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Rolls
I
off
really
the
need
tongue.
to
I like
probably check that. But we'll call him for Theo for this story and we'll pop up the real name here.
Which could be Theo.
Which could be Theo. We don't know. Van Gogh, when he started painting, he was kind of in distress, but he essentially got his brother to pay for his artwork like 150 francs a week or something. But his brother was just kind of giving him the money. Like, my brother's down and he's like, I'm just going to help him out. And Van Gogh would be like, I'll give you my paintings in exchange for this money. And he's like, I don't care what you do with them. You can throw them out if you want. But his brother was just being a good person.
Oh, good on him.
And the reason we know this is there's hundreds of letters between the two of them throughout
Oh, that's
his life.
sweet.
And some of them are really nice and some of them, Vincent is not so nice. Despite these setbacks, Van Gogh remained dedicated to his craft, producing some of the most celebrated and influential artworks in the history of Western art.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the ear, the famous ear.
Yes.
He was actually friends with another famous artist named Paul Gauguin. This is Gauguin's work. You probably will know it.
Oh, yes.
So they were friends, but they lived together for a bit. So Van Gogh really wanted to set up an artist studio in the south of France, and he asked Gauguin to come and live with him. Gauguin said, yeah, sure, I'll do it, but your family has to pay for me to get there, like has to do all this stuff. And Vincent was like, okay. It only lasted 9 weeks after a terrible fight.
Okay.
This is when the ear got cut off.
Right.
So in Gauguin's memory, he said that Vincent cut off his own ear, but maybe he didn't. Maybe at the time, old Paulie was quite good and known to have like swords and they were both very angry. He had a huge ego. Maybe he accidentally cut off his friend's ear.
Oh my God.
Unconfirmed, allegedly, but
it was a pretty precise cut. Well, to cut off someone's ear. Well, if he was good with swords.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Wow.
Like
I thought he did it in an act of romance.
Well, there's so many, I guess, because we don't have like too much info about it. If he did cut it off, he gave it to a local sex worker. That was who he gave it to.
That's where I'm getting the ear in the box thing from.
So he went to a bar, gave it to a local sex worker. It is a little bit unsure whether they were like seeing each other or whether Vincent was just like infatuated with her. But he did give it away. So
a lot of underlying unresolved mental health issues happening to poor Vincent, and probably a lot of people in this time that they had nothing to go off.
100%. It was something I was going to bring up, absolutely, because it was clear that Vincent actually, and I call him Vincent because he said in a letter to his brother, no one can pronounce my last name, so just call me Vincent. Which is why it's why all of his paintings are signed Vincent.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So he was like, no one knows how to pronounce my name, so I'm just going to make it easier for you. He clearly was depressed. He was clinically depressed.
Yeah.
There was probably some bipolar schizophrenia thrown in.
Seems like a moody character.
Yeah. And he actually admitted himself to a few, I guess what they would have called at the time, institutions. He checked himself in and out of institutions over his lifetime. So he knew there was something wrong.
They just didn't have the know-how at the time to diagnose like that, or I don't know, they would just give you a lobotomy.
100%.
Yeah.
He actually didn't know how to describe what was happening. This is one of his quotes. He said, mental or nervous fever or madness, I don't quite know what to say or how to name it.
That's really sad.
So he knew something was going wrong, but he couldn't put it into words what was happening.
Oh, poor Vincent.
I know. And I think that's why his brother really took, I guess, pity on him.
Thank God we've got, like, today's day and age, we can pinpoint those issues and there are professionals that we can go see that deal with it.
I know.
Like, we're very lucky.
We're very lucky.
In that regard.
So, yeah, Paul Vincent didn't have that, I guess, luxury.
No.
So he had a big fight with Gogh. And they stopped living and working together, but they still remain friends. They wrote letters to each other for the following 2 years, and then Vincent passed away. Gauguin is not a good person, so let's not feel too... Do you want to hear about him a little bit? Just a little touch?
Yeah, just give me a little bit of...
A lot of underage sex. Specifically he went to Tahiti and got a lot of Tahiti women. He spread syphilis
Yeah.
to these women. A lot of them were 14 and younger. Got them pregnant. Abandoned them. Also took a lot from their culture and didn't credit them. So just an all-round bad guy. I don't know why Vincent was friends with him.
Takes the fun out of this painting I'm looking at a bit.
I know. He did a lot of bad things and a lot of people are really, it's the art versus the artist. We can appreciate what he brought to the art world, but he was one of the really bad ones.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know his art well enough to separate the art from the artist, so I'm boycotting him myself.
Get rid of him.
No, don't like him.
So I'll show you, if you flick, there should be some paintings by old Vincent in there, I think. And because the paintings are so like thick and rich and beautiful, they're like real tasty paintings. So he really had a distinct style.
Bedroom kind of looks like a 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
Bedroom. Hey, Arnold.
Gogh had chronic depression and clinical depression and was and essentially it ended his life. So he shot himself at 37.
Wow.
There is rumors that
Vincent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is rumors that he was murdered, but it's more likely he just killed himself.
Oh, the poor
honest,
bugger.
Which is really sad. His profound impact on the development of modern art and his enduring popularity amongst art lovers around the world ensure that his work will continue to inspire captive audiences for generations to come.
Yes.
So he had a short art career, but he really made one of the biggest impacts on the art world.
Yes.
Which is lovely. Let's talk about the painting that got stolen. It's called
The flowers?
Yeah, Poppy Flowers.
Yeah.
So lesser known. What would you like to say about this work, Joel?
Right.
What are you feeling?
Well, like I've probably said before, still life
Not your
that
fave.
aren't humans.
Not your fave.
It's not my fave. Especially florals and flowers. Anything nature or outdoorsy. I'm seeing a flower pot with yellow flowers, vibrant yellow flowers, very pretty yellow, with a few red flowers in there too. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, so it was painted in 1887. It's quite small, I guess. It's only about 65 centimeters by 54, which in the world of art, that's quite little. It's valued at 50 million USD.
Oh.
77 here in Australia.
Oh my God.
So for a small painting, it's worth a lot. A lot of, obviously, Van Gogh paintings are priceless at this point. And it was painted about 3 years before his suicide.
Okay.
The painting was created whilst living with his brother in the French capital. And sometime after Vincent passed away, the poppy flowers made its way from Paris to Cairo, but no one kind of really knows.
That's right. We were in Cairo.
We jumped back and forth a bit. So
they go to Egypt. Cairo's in Egypt?
Yep.
You getting there?
Yep.
All right. Never mind. Continue.
I was like, yep. Is that? Yes. I've got it written on a page.
Yes.
It tells me. It makes its way to the museum. I'm going to put up a picture here, but you've already seen the picture of what the museum looks like.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Very fancy.
It's a palace.
Yes.
So that's where we're at. All right. I want you to pay close attention to this heist, Joel, because you're going to solve it for me.
All right. Okay.
So it's June 1970.
Slow down.
Stop. You said June? Where are we? Cairo?
Who am
Egypt? Who are you? So it's June 4th, 1977. The poppy flowers have gone missing. It is impossible to discover what actually happened, given the Egyptian government has never disclosed details on this crime.
They're pretty, I'd assume the Egyptian government would be pretty tight-lipped.
Just tight-lipped. Tight-lipped. It's thought the painting went missing sometime during the museum's move between two places. So moves from one place to another. It's gotten lost somewhere there.
Where are the poppies?
Where are the poppies? They go missing for 10 years.
Oh my God.
while the government has kept mum to this day, they have suggested that the culprits were a trio of Egyptians. So whoever these bandits might have been, the painting was eventually found and recovered from a non-disclosed location in Kuwait.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all we know about
So
the
they were
heist.
recovered,
Yep.
assuming there were 3 Egyptians that stole this.
Stole this.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all we know.
Well, obviously they were around during the movement from the paintings one place to the other.
Yeah.
So perhaps, is it via ship? Is it via boat?
Literally?
That's the same thing, Joel.
Don't know.
Is it by plane?
Is it by an aircraft?
There's no resolve to this. So it is literally my job to find out who.
Oh, I'm just kidding. That's not the heist we're going to talk about. This stock painting got stolen twice.
Oh, okay.
So the first one, that's literally all we know about the 1977 heist.
Showed up again.
Straight up, they stole it. They found it.
Yep. 10 years later.
10 years later.
Right.
Literally no information,
Yep.
even in the
People know, but it was never released.
Yeah, the government knows, but never released, which means the painting has probably been used as a bargaining chip to get someone out of jail.
Classic
art heist. Let's head back into the museum in Cairo. This time it is on a scorching Saturday, August 2010. The tranquility of the museum was shattered by the actions of some pretty brazen thieves. So, is it one person or is it multiple?
Well, you said thieves.
Who knows?
No?
Maybe it's a red herring. You know what? It's not that serious if you don't solve the crime.
Oh, gosh. But I really need to.
You really have to. So, the sun casts harsh shadows across the marble floors. A suspect with their identity cloaked with I can't say
anonymity. Anonymity. This is the same as amicably.
Yeah.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Embarked on a daring mission. In a display of brazen confidence, they moved a couch against the wall, jumped on it with calculated precision. They deftly sliced through the canvas and took it out of its frame and literally walked out of the museum.
So what do you mean they sliced the canvas
Out of the frame. So they literally...
so they like cut it
out.
Ooh.
So they pushed a couch up against the wall, got a knife, cut around the canvas and went, I'll be just taking that one.
Yikes.
Rolled it up. Off they went.
Okay.
So they left the frame there.
Devalue it a little bit, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you'd think so. But also, I'll put a picture of the frame up now, but it's a pretty ornate frame. So I can understand why you wouldn't want to walk out with the frame because you assume you could just roll it up.
Yes.
We remember back the old Mona Lisa heist.
Yep,
They took it out of the frame.
Yeah.
Very
you
heavy.
You have to. Frames are heavy.
Frames are heavy and they're annoying.
Yeah.
And all of these works seem to be in the most ornate frames ever.
Yeah.
So this went unnoticed. Literally no security saw what happened. No one caught it on the monitors because, mind you, this is 2010. We've got surveillance. Not a single staff member or museum visitor noticed this crime appearing. And it happened in broad daylight.
So same thing is happening in Cairo as it's happening in Europe where everyone's just a bit too nonchalant
about
their job at the museums.
I honestly think movies have made us think that museum security is like top notch.
Is stealing art the easiest thing to do in the world?
I think stealing it might be the easiest thing. Moving it along afterwards might be one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
But stealing it seems pretty easy.
Far out.
I reckon
broad daylight.
I know. Like, come on here. Given the prominence of some of the museum's collection, including works by Monet, Renoir, Degas, one would think this is epic failure of security because this is impossible. Like there's so much amazing art in this gallery. Like, how does this happen? Once the investigation opens, it opens up a can of worms. According to Egyptian officials, at the time of the theft, of the 43 security cameras that are in this museum,
In the 70s. So they're 70s security cameras.
No, this is 2010.
Oh, we're in 2010.
We're in 2010. So
Okay.
1977 was the first one. This is 2010.
And no one was there to see this.
No one was there to see this, apparently. So of the 43 security cameras, 7 of them were working.
Far out. Well, I think a lot of security cameras in places are there just for show as a deterrent
Yeah, 100%.
for people.
None of the security alarms, so they had security alarms set up, but none of them were active. So essentially, one of the Egyptian prosecutors described this situation as a facade of security. So essentially, they were like, well, we've got security, but it's not real.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, okay.
Mm.
The same time as well, there was only 10 people that were reported to have visited that museum that day.
Oh.
So I know, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like where are all the people to see this beautiful art? But only 10 visitors.
We got the pyramids right outside.
I know,
There's a lot going on.
And like, it's not like it's Starry Night on display.
No, it's a pot of flowers.
It's a pot of flowers. Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Police official made a statement and said that the alarms and the cameras had been out of order for a long time prior to the theft.
Right.
The cameras had not been working for so long, neither had the alarm system. The museum official said that they were looking for spare parts for the security system, but hadn't managed to find them. I'll tell you where to find them. Pop down to Bunnings.
But where's the nearest JB Hi-Fi?
You know what? Go and get your little Sunday.
JB Hi-Fi Cairo.
Go get your little Sunday snag. Pick up your little security system. Pop on back to the.
Maybe it's too expensive and this big place isn't getting enough funding.
I know.
Or something.
Like when you're thinking 10 visitors a day, like how much are you really worried about the art going missing?
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of expensive art in this gallery.
Should be more secure, you'd think.
So as soon as the frame with the gaping hole was discovered.
Oh, beg your pardon?
Excuse me?
What did you
say?
call
Big old gaping hole. The country scrambled into action. The Egyptian Minister of Culture, Hosni, ordered the airports and the seaports on high alert. Didn't shut them down, just said, keep your eyes peeled.
Yep. Watch the Nile.
Watch it. Watch them swimming down the Nile. Museum officials faced an official inquiry into the disastrous security system.
So they should.
Yeah, 100%.
I think.
Let me give you the suspects. The Italian tourists. 2 Italian tourists had been detained at Cairo International Airport just before they were to board their flight back to Italy. Apparently, the museum officials had reported this couple was acting suspiciously while they were there the day of the theft.
Couple. So a man and wife, or?
I believe it was a man and wife.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
They were 2 of the 10 people visiting. They were in a tour group. They went and used the washroom.
Yep.
And abruptly after they used the washroom, they left. They legged it out, leaving the museum. They said, we're not doing this tour anymore. Got to go.
Yep.
So
right. Ooh,
either
sus.
bathroom emergency or we've just stolen a $70 million painting.
I'd like to also reiterate that I said man and wife before because I doubt it would be a male couple or an all-female couple. Maybe in Cairo, Egypt.
Yes.
That was my only reasoning behind that, not to just generally assume that when I say couple, it's a man and a woman. Okay, everyone stop yelling at me.
You know what? It's not just straights, Joel. Gays can commit crime too. All of these things raised red flags when it was discovered that the painting was gone. Hence, they went and stopped them at the airport. That's your first suspect.
Okay.
A couple of suspects.
Pretty high up there.
Yep. So you said
what was in their luggage?
Yeah, what was that? The second suspect is more so an inside job. So someone who either worked at the museum in security or just one of the people. Due to the nature of the crime and how easy it was to commit, investigators quickly realized this could have been an inside job. As there were only 10 visitors to the museum that day, plus the brazen act of just walking into the gallery and slicing the painting out of the frame, it suggests that people committing the crime would have known that the security was so lax.
100%.
Like you had to know.
Yes.
So, because I don't think you're walking, even if you.
I walk into a gallery. I mean, well, now after doing this podcast, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
But walking into a gallery, I'd be expecting those like lasers darting across the rooms, like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment, guarding these paintings.
100%. You assume that these paintings are probably having at least a security guard on them or something.
But if you're working in this building knowing that the security system's so shit and lax, then you'd go up to a painting and go hoit, hoit, hoit and take it.
And you're doing it during the day as well. Like it's not like you're doing it at night when it's closed.
And at a time that no one saw it too. So they knew no one else was around.
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know?
Oh, my suspicions are peaking.
Ooh.
Positively peaking.
Well, I've got one final suspect for you. This final suspect is Mohsen Salan. I apologize if I am
Sounds right.
saying it incorrectly. So he was the deputy for culture at the time of the theft and had insight and knowledge of the terrible security system.
Okay.
He was also an artist and had the knowledge of how valuable a Van Gogh would be. He'd been in the role for 4 short years and resigned immediately after the painting was stolen. So he knows what's going on. He knows about the security system. Well,
everyone in 2010 knows how much, knows that a Van Gogh would be worth $1 squillion.
That's true. That's true. So he's someone who's been in the industry for a while, but he's only stepped into this role, Deputy of Culture, in the past 4 years.
And legged it straight after this happened.
Legged it straight after.
That is sus.
It is suspicious. What do you reckon?
I'm still leaning towards someone working in. Oh, now.
Is it the tourists? Is it the inside job? Who's getting the 5-finger discount?
I don't think it was a tourist, only because it's 2010. You steal a Van Gogh. You're at the airport with.
I get nervous at the airport at the best of times.
Absolutely. If I've got a pair of nail clippers in my bag, I'm like, they're going to think I'm about to hijack.
I'm like, literally, I've got an aerosol can in my bag and I'm like, is it supposed to be in my ugly?
How big is it? It's going to explode. Everyone's going to die.
Yeah. Literally, let alone a priceless painting. I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, so that's a bit far-fetched for me, unless they're big, massive idiots. I don't think it's this Italiano couple.
Unless they were not tourists and they were just pretending to be tourists.
Maybe that. The security inside the gallery. Yes, I think that's very, very, very likely. However, our previous story, a few episodes ago, a very similar story happened. I'm not sure if what you're bringing me today, you would have seen that and gone, well, maybe let's go something different, which is now leading me towards Mr. Bureau of Culture. What's his name?
He's Mohsen Salan.
I think it might be Mohsen.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, on this Saturday evening.
Yep, keep talking.
You want to lock it in?
No, keep talking.
Following the paintings being stolen, the culture minister, Hosni, announced that 2 Italians had been arrested.
I meant it was the Italians at the
airport, of course, at the Cairo airport, trying to smuggle the painting out of the country. He said that the authorities had the painting back in their possession.
Oh, okay.
He then later backtracked. He said, sorry, I got the wrong information there. We're still working on getting the painting back.
Oh.
And he blamed a subordinate for giving inaccurate information. The security official confirmed on Sunday that the Italians had been arrested, but then later
wrongfully.
Later released.
That's what I said.
And yes.
Yeah.
Trust your gut.
Yes.
So they went back to Italy. They went back to Italy. So the Italian tourists.
Not the Italians. I said all along.
We're going back to Mohsen. The official who had said that the painting was in possession of police at Cairo airport switched off his cell phone on Saturday evening and could not be reached for comment or contacted at all by the sounds of things.
It was him?
Well. Well, let's talk about what happened with old Mossen for a second. He and others within the Minister of Culture were promptly investigated for creating and perpetuating the conditions that allowed the theft to occur. So among the allegations that guards did not check on museum visitors. So apparently you could just go in and no one's even checking on you.
Oh my God.
They also said that none of the alarms in the museum worked and only 7 out of the 43 surveillance cameras were operational. Shalan later conceded that museum security was poor, but contended that he was not personally responsible and had raised the point to his superiors several times, including the culture minister. And he said he was reporting that the security cameras were not functioning as early as 2007. So he clocked it in 2007.
Yep.
And then we've got 3 years of no one doing anything.
Right. Okay.
So he said that he was not given the right resources to improve the security. So prior to the theft, he had requested nearly $7 million to increase the museum security, but was only approved for $88,000.
Oh.
But also, where's the $88,000 of security?
Yeah.
Like,
nothing's been done.
nothing's been done.
What did they do with it?
Yeah. Where's that $88,000 gone?
Sneaky.
Sneaky. The trial, Shalan and 10 other people in the Ministry of Culture were found guilty of negligence and sentenced to 3 years in prison. They potentially didn't even commit the crime and they're going to jail for 3 years.
Just for not having the security measures up to scratch.
Yeah. And each one, so they were all released on bail for about $1,700. So
yeah,
pretty low bail, pending appeal. So then they appealed and convictions of negligence and professional delinquency, which is a fun thing to say, were upheld, but his sentence was reduced to 1 year in prison. So he still went to prison for a year.
Oh.
I know. But while in jail, he created many artworks because he was an artist.
Good on him.
Channeled his experiences of being imprisoned. Honestly, the actual crime, the people who committed the crime, we actually don't know.
No. Right.
The painting is actually still missing.
I have to say, so Poppies is missing.
Poppies
still.
is missing.
I do think it was someone who worked in the museum.
I mean, it is pretty crazy.
They must have known.
They must have. So yeah, to this day, we don't know who did it and we don't know where the painting is.
Oh my God. So even the guy who who brought up that they need better security, tried to help fund it, all that kind of stuff, he ended up going to jail as well.
So that was the deputy minister of culture. So he had said previously, like, hey guys, your security's not up to scratch. Get it together. Give me $7 million, I'll get it there.
Yeah.
And they said, you can't have $7 million, but we'll give you $88,000.
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's still not enough. And he got convicted and went to jail.
But did he ever deliver with the? No. Okay.
So
right. Okay.
So he never.
So he could have even pocketed.
He could have pocketed it.
Right.
But I mean, I think this guy, like, I don't know if it was the deputy. I think he was wrong place, wrong time. Maybe he was a bit out of his element in the job.
Yes.
Maybe just kind of, I guess.
Hence the quick turnover. He was like, oh, this might not be for me.
I've done everything I can. Goodbye.
I'm going to go work at H&M.
Yeah. So yeah, he was convicted, but it was more so for not doing his job.
Yes.
Rather than the theft itself.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, how frustrating. Someone's got Poppies.
Someone's got Poppies and we don't know. So
Vincent would be doing somersaults in his grave.
He's like, well, my paintings are worth $50 million. I'd love to have
he's
that.
Probably, yeah.
He's okay.
He's fine.
Billionaire businessman from Egypt, he's still offering to this day at least $175,000 reward for anyone who can provide relevant information on the painting. So it's vanished into thin air. No arrests have ever been made. As far as we know, the case has gone cold.
Wow.
So the Egyptian minister, the Egyptian interior minister,
don't know.
Interior of what? Told Daily News of Egypt that the likeliest scenario, it was an inside job. He said there are many circumstances around the theft of the poppy flowers that point to the fact that a museum employee participated in the theft or stole it themselves.
Yeah.
The location and the placement inside the museum confirm this.
Could have been a volunteer, could have been anyone in. As long as you heard word that the security systems weren't
sucked.
good, that would ping
Straight away.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well,
like,
maybe I don't know.
Then you're there for a couple of years thinking about it, stewing over it.
it.
Should I just do it? How easy would it be?
And one day you go,
I'm going to take that.
Your boss says the wrong thing to you.
Take that painting
said,
of
I'm
fucking
gonna
flowers.
take that painting. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it home.
Take it
I'm
home.
going to quit. What would be more suspicious is if immediately after the painting was stolen, someone was like, okay, I've had enough of this job. Goodbye.
Bye.
But Shelley, you've worked here for 40 years. It's like, no, I've had it. Goodbye.
Oh, Shelley.
Oh, Shelley. Shell. I know it's kind of sad that we might never see this painting again.
Mm.
And if you do have any information, hit up the old billionaire. But
I'd be right if I never saw it. no, it's a fine
not like
painting.
it's starry. It's a
fine painting.
You know what? It's okay.
It's okay. It's just not my cup of chamomile tea.
But I just like the idea that maybe this employee has this like $50 million painting just hanging in their house, being like, want to see my Van Gogh?
Yeah.
Like, imagine pulling that out at a dinner party.
It's literally in someone's possession right now.
Yeah, someone has it. And
someone on this planet has it.
And I don't think it's like a sophisticated crime thing. I think this is just an ordinary
it's in
worker.
someone's good room.
Yes, it's in there. It's in their sitting room.
Yes.
Just go to my nan's house. She's just got it there. And I'm like, hang on a second. Nana Bursell. Like, you never catch me alive. So yeah, that's it. That's all we know. And it's still missing.
Right.
So.
Well, bit of a, like when you watch Unsolved Mysteries and you get to the end, but you just like.
Never get it.
Oh.
Well, that's a bit
who bloody
unsatisfying.
did it?
Who did it?
Yeah.
That's satisfying. Sorry to leave you on.
No. It was very fascinating. I like that we got to go to Cairo in Egypt. Again, frustrated at the lack of security and monitoring at these galleries.
There is so little security at these galleries. They really set you up.
And in 2010.
And in 2010
My
of
God.
all times. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you for listening to another episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again and always, because I'll always be here.
I'm always at your house. If you want to see visuals, you can watch us on YouTube. You can also go to the Instagram that is
Framed the pod. Framed the pod.
and
At Instagram? Or do you just say at framed the pod?
is it at Instagram? Aging ourselves. So we're on Instagram. We're on TikTok, hypothetically, at this point as well.
Yes.
We'll see you all next week, I guess.
For another thrilling installment of Framed.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.